This video is a continuation of a traffic light theme. I'm going to show you how you can use a push button that will then create a gap in the lights for a pedestrian to cross. It's going to use the second core of the Pi Pico RP2040. The code is a version of the original sketch shown in the Raspberry Pi Get Started with MicroPython on the Raspberry Pi Pico ebook, but has been converted to use with the Cryton MicroPy RP2040 board that I am using. We are going to use three libraries in this sketch: machine, utime, and underline thread. The machine library gives us access to the Pico's GP pins. Utime gives us access to delays, and underscore thread allows us to use the two cores on the Pi Pico. Here you can see the import of the three libraries we're going to use. We then declare 5 variables to use for the GP pin users. We've got LED red, and that is going to be on pin 28, and we set it as an output. We then have an amber LED on 27, a green LED on pin 26, we have the button on pin 20 and the buzzer on pin 22. You will also notice on the button we are using the pull-up resistor to hold the pin at 3.3 volts. We have one other variable to declare, and in this case it's this variable here, global button underscore pressed. It needs to be a global variable because we're going to use it in one of the functions as well as the main program running on the two different cores. You will then notice we have button underscore pressed equals false, so we are setting that variable to false at the start. We then define a function called button underscore reader underscore thread. First thing we have in the function is global button underscore pressed. We then go into a while true. If button.value is equal to false, set the button pressed value to true. We then have a utime.sleep at 0.01. Then we start the new thread running on that core, and we have to use underscore thread dot start new thread, and we give it the name button underscore reader underscore thread, and we have to declare the two brackets. We then move on to the while true. This has two parts to it. When we first start the Pico, the button underscore pressed value is equal to false, so the if statement will not run. But what will happen, it will start off with LED red set to 1, which is on. It'll then go through utime.sleep at 10 seconds, move to the amber, utime 3 seconds, and so on all the way through to amber at the bottom, turning that off. Now in the meantime, if we have pressed the button while this is all running, the button pressed value will have been changed on the other core to true. So therefore the if statement will now get run, in which case this will set the LED red value to 1. It will sleep for 1.5 seconds. We will then go into a for loop for 10 seconds, which is buzzer value 1, which will make it beep. We'll then have a sleep for 0.2 of a second, set the buzzer value to 0, utime.sleep2, and that will go through that loop until it's completed the 10 cycles. It will then set the global button pressed, button underscore pressed equals false. So it will then drop down and go through this code again until the button gets pressed one more time. Here you can see the traffic lights going through its sequence, starting at red, amber, green. I will then press the button to activate the crossing